Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Andrew Fillion, and if this is your first time joining one of these sessions, let me give you a quick breakdown. I'm currently competing for another bodybuilding show, and every week I like to do a check-in where I take you guys through my macros, my exercise, and my weight loss progress. And every week I kind of break down how things went and where things are going. So I started out at week 20, and right now we're at the end of week 17. So I'll start things out by going into the bathroom and I'll do a quick weigh-in. From there, I'll show you guys, 4 basic quarter turns to show you how my progress is going. And then from there, I'll take you into the office and we'll break down the macros for the week. All right, let's go check out this weigh-in. So I weighed in this morning at 195.6, which is a little bit higher than I'd like it to be. Real life happens, and this has been Memorial Weekend, so a lot of friends in town. I've got family in town. It's been a lot more restaurant meals than I typically would have, but that's actually not a bad thing. And later on when I break down the macros, I'm going to explain what I do when I have a lot of family in town or if I have a lot of friends in town and I'm doing a lot of restaurant eating. So from here, let's go check out the quarter turns. Alright guys, so how this works is every week I come in and do 4 basic quarter turns. This is going to show you my physique from the front, the side, the back, the other side, and then back to the front. So this week I didn't make as much forward progress as I would have liked, but that's part of life, and that's actually a good reason why if you are going to train for a show, you want to start training early, because you're going to have things like vacations. This is a holiday weekend. A lot of my friends are in town, plus I have family in town. Most of my dinners this week have been at restaurants, and while it is manageable, it's not my ideal diet. That's okay, because next week I'm going to be back on track and we're going to start seeing forward progress again. This week I didn't see much backsliding, but it didn't go forward either. I really maintained around 194 all week, and with that, let's go right into the quarter turns. Alright, now from here, let's head into the office and I will show you guys my macros for the week. Alright, welcome back. Here we go. So this is the end of week 16. I started on week 20, so that means I'm about a fifth of the way through. This is kind of like a milestone for me. So let's just take a look. Here we go. Yesterday was May 28th. We started this on April 30th. Started out at basically 199, and as of this morning I'm 195.6. That's not terrible. I mean, that looks like about a pound a week, but I would like to get this accelerated a little faster. As you can see, last week I hit a low of 193, and that did not happen once this week. So this is actually kind of a thing that like screws people up on a diet. I had a wedding last weekend. Now this is Memorial Day weekend. I've got another wedding next weekend. So like 3 back-to-back weekends of being off your diet, like for a lot of people, that's a showstopper. That is kind of what throws you off your whole program. So for me to actually be kind of running flat through this period is actually probably a good thing. Once the weddings are over, I'm gonna have about a solid month of like, I don't want to say obligations, but I'm gonna be on my own time. It's gonna be more doing things my way, and I plan on actually having June be somewhat of a catch-up month. So I'm going to accelerate my weight loss to 2 pounds a week, hoping that by July 1st I'm in the mid 180s. If I could be 185 by July 1st, I'd be pretty happy with that. So 195 195 today. That is 10 pounds. But if you think about it, you know, I was at 193 last week, so I'm carrying a little bit of water. So that's just what happens when you're at restaurants. It's impossible to be 100% accurate with food tracking, and a lot of the meals are going to be loaded up with salt. So I am kind of just holding more water through the week, hoping to shed that this week before the wedding. And then once I get home, we're going to really go crazy with it. Moving on to my steps here. Actually, this week I did really good on steps. There was only one day where I didn't hit 5 miles, but if you look at these other days, I got 11 miles on Thursday, I got 12 miles yesterday, then I'm averaging about 7 for the rest of the week. This is good. If I can maintain this and get back on my regular diet or get back on my regular dinners, I'm going to be shedding 2 pounds a week, no problem. Walking is the #1 way, in my opinion, to burn body fat. If you start doing cardio that is more intense, if you start doing medium intensity or even high intensity, you end up burning yourself out really early. Even for someone like me, I doubt that I could be running 5 to 7 miles every single day, Monday through Sunday. I just don't think that I could do that and bodybuild at the same time, but I can walk that distance. Don't get me wrong, 12 miles, that's a lot in one day, but at no point did I feel like I had to stop. I mean, this was more, you know, we went downtown, we're walking around, going to different places, but I didn't feel tired. I could have kept going, and that's the beauty of walking. As long as you've got time and if you've got the patience, you can walk all day and be burning fat all day. That's kind of what I'm planning on doing. Once I get home from this next upcoming weekend, I'm going to see if I can crank up the walking to maybe about 10 miles a day just for a little bit. Maybe just for the month of June. I think that sounds like a good idea. So I'm going to do that, and let's take a look at the macros. Guys, a little bit higher than I'd like them to be. I'm kind of shooting more closer to 22 to 2300 calories. Did that a couple of times, but if you look, Wednesday I'm over 3,000 calories, and Sunday I didn't track at all. I wasn't in town. I got back into town that night. Aside from that, you know, I had to eat whatever food was available in the areas I was at. So I tried my best to be healthy, but you know, when you're at a hotel and you got like hotel breakfast, there's only so much you can do. So I didn't track that day. Fat calories are pretty inconsistent. Sodium, potassium look about normal. Carbs are a little higher than I'd like them to be. I don't typically like going over 200 carbs, but that could be why I'm holding more water this week, is just, you know, the increase in carbs plus the sodium has that effect. And then protein is actually pretty good. So I was able to at least get 180 every day. So I'm at least getting my maintenance protein in there. Went over a few days. Going over on protein is not a big deal. So you only need to have 1 gram of protein per pound of body fat to maintain muscle. There's no downside to going higher than that. You're not putting on more muscle, but if you have a daily calorie intake, why not just take in more protein? I mean, you're going to be eating food anyways, and protein has a satiating effect, so you're not going to be as hungry after having protein. I don't see why you couldn't go into the 200s. That's what I'll do, and as I get leaner, I'm actually going to start reducing carbs in favor of more protein. So this isn't going to happen right away, but maybe around week 8 is when I'm going to start really taking the fat and the carbs and removing anything that's not totally necessary, and I'm going to ramp up the protein. So I'll be looking at more like 250 to 300 grams of protein a day. My fat calories are going to get lower. It's going to come to a point where I don't want to go over 50 grams of fat. We're not quite there yet. This happens more when you're in the single digits of body fat. Carbs, once I'm at that level, I'm going to try to not go above 150. So this is going to be a pretty strict diet, maybe starting mid-July, August, leading all the way up to September. And then I actually want to be at my stage weight by September 1st. That way I have about a 2-week period where I just chill and try to recover and, you know, focus on the other aspects of competing, like going through my posing routine, things like that. It's a lot easier to practice your posing when you're already lean, because when you look in the mirror, if you've still got some body fat, your posing's not going to look as good, so it can kind of mess with you. Plus, it's hard to get good feedback if you can't see the muscle in the first place. So if I get my show weight by September 1st, I'll just spend 2 weeks running through the posing like like a madman. Not focus too much on diet for those 2 weeks. I mean, you want to maintain, of course, but if I'm already lean enough, it helps if you're not in a calorie deficit running right up to the show. That's my opinion anyway. So that is week 16, 20% of the way through. So we'll see what happens once these block of weddings are over. Kick things into overdrive, gonna up the intensity, and hopefully from there I can show you guys by July 1st. The goal is to be 185. So with that, I'll end it here, and I will see you guys in the next one. Hey, before I go, if you guys are finding this helpful, go ahead and look at the other videos in the playlist. Pretty soon here, I'm going to create a PDF that you guys can use, that you guys can download for yourselves. I think that's going to be great, so keep an eye out for that. I'm not quite ready to release that yet, but the next week or two, I'll have that in your hands, so stay tuned.